who is going to be featuring in this 1v1 clash. And as I say, it is a tasty one. It's going to be Aazbabysk, a very experienced player who was away last season, but he comes back to the tournament. He makes his debut with Celtic, and he'll be going up against the best, arguably the best, at the very least, South American player, and certainly one of the most decorated in eFootball history, GUIFERA. Guys, this one is another spectacular setup for us, but maybe another surprise in the cards, perhaps?
Potentially. I mean, these two have definitely featured in the league previous, perhaps have not achieved the results they would have wanted, but from my memory of GUIFERA, a really fiery attacker, of course, a former world champion, if I'm not mistaken in saying, and Aazbabysk on the other side, a very, very strong defender. I remember him in seasons past, was a difficult player to beat. So I wonder if that's going to be the tail of the tape here, Wes.
Well, that's the thing. We spoke about Celtic's rearguard action with Kilzu, and we wouldn't necessarily associate Kilzu as a defensive player. You know, you put a defensive side in the hands of somebody like Aazbabysk, who is, I would say, primarily known for his defensive work, then this will be a very tough nut to crack. But again, you look on the other side, you talk about fire, you talk about competitive natures, you talk about skills. GUIFERA is, as Sarah pointed out, one of the very best. And you know, we talked about the recruitment that Celtic have done. Monaco have recruited in kind as well. So, you know, bringing GUIFERA into the fold, especially in a 1v1 competition, that's a very, very big statement from them.
A big statement indeed. As you say, you lose two players in Lotfi and Kilzu. You've got to replace them with some talented players. One of them is up now. GUIFERA taking on Aazbabysk. It's going to be so good to see what these two returning players to the league can field here on the virtual pitch, because you have to feel like if you're both of these players, maybe you left something on the table a couple of seasons ago. Maybe you felt like there's some unfinished business here. Celtic looking more comfortable coming into this one with 3 points already in the bag from game one, Wes. But, as I said before, GUIFERA, former world champion, is certainly one to look out for.
Yeah, you can see that Celtic on the attack already. Oh, it just goes wide from Maeda. I mean, you know, we're talking about quick starts. Celtic very much on the front foot, which is what we, you know, or at least is what we thought they should be doing. You know, you have to get on the front foot against Monaco, regardless of what iteration of Monaco it is. You have to get on the front foot. You know, sure, you'll respect the likes of Aazbabysk and GUIFERA and Nexa, but at the same time, you've got to make sure you play your own game. You can only play as good as you can do.
This is so true. And of course, those watching at home can participate in the victory giveaway campaign. Celtic fans will be very happy about that game one score you can see at the top of your screens, because that will mean their social media accounts will be giving away some goodies, as will all of the eFootball Championship Pro clubs be doing. But I'll come back to that as Maeda will open the scoring.
It's disturbed as Dean. A background sound from
Aazbabysk, returning to the league, has scored the opening goal in game two of match one for his new club. Celtic 1, Monaco 0. What a start for the boys in green.
It's not a bad way to introduce yourself, is it? Or in Aazbabysk's case, it's not a bad way to reintroduce yourself. Brilliant through ball. You can see the runner from Maeda, who just peels off here. It's a lovely little slid rule pass from Kyogo. Maeda tucks it in. Nubel, you can see GUIFERA going for the manual goalkeeper. He didn't quite pull it off in the way that he wanted to. And you can see that, you know, that dynamic duo of Celtic is very much paying dividends for them today.
You're absolutely right. I think Maeda is going to be one that other clubs in this group, such as Bayern and United, will have to keep tabs on when you go up against this fiery Celtic team. There's confirmation. Aazbabysk scoring the latest goal of this tie. There were a lot of question marks about AS Monaco and how they would replace Kilzu and Lotfi, and maybe the pressure is going to be on GUIFERA and Nexa to fill those huge shoes that those two players left. But for Aazbabysk, it's very much a case of, hey, I've got unfinished business here. And in the opening 10 minutes of the game, he's back on the score sheet once more, and he's won the back here as well with Turnbull. And there is that man again, Maeda. He's through one-on-one. What can the goalkeeper do here? The defence is catching up, and it's over. So close to a second goal. The defence carved open Wes, but there is no pay dirt at the end of it.
It's very much a game of chicken there. Who was blinking first? Was it Nubel or was it Maeda? Again, a lovely through ball from the right-hand side from Celtic, and you see that Maeda is making those runs. If you are watching at home and you're wondering what these players are looking for, you're looking for the players to have their hands out in front of them to let you know that that's where they want the ball. And Maeda is doing that every single Celtic attack, and GUIFERA is very much struggling to keep up with him at the moment.
Well, he's won the ball back now, but that is an unforced error from GUIFERA. Very much out of the ordinary for the South American representative. Monaco have really struggled to hit the ground running so far. The same cannot be said for Celtic. They have looked so strong here early on. Now it's time to see how GUIFERA can attack. Here is Diop for GUIFERA. But again, the back line from the Glasgow club has been so solid.
Yeah, it's playing to your team's strengths as well. This is no discredit to Celtic's forward line, but if you have a forward line that is quick, you're going to want to try and play deep and just try and play some counter-attacking football and try and soak up some pressure here. You can see ball's just filtered it out to back to Monaco here. You can see that Volland's got free on the right. It's got to move a little bit quicker for Monaco in midfield, because at the moment the Celtic side are eating it back up.
They are indeed, and this is going to be a tough nut to crack for GUIFERA. We mentioned before Aazbabysk, a couple of seasons out of the league, is returning now. Was always in and around the top defensive points ratings in seasons past, so going to be a difficult defender to deal with. And as I say that, he's won the ball back here as well to potentially spring another attack. What can he find here? Now it's time for GUIFERA to come the other way. Here on this near side. Referee happy to let them tussle. And Celtic once again winning the ball back 10 minutes till half time. Holland now. Just can't quite find a pass, but Diop has capitalised on the mistake. But is that his own man there, GUIFERA? Getting in the way. Maeda threatening to get in behind, but as half-time approaches, it's been pretty steady at the back for Celtic. Not really too many chances to write home about for Monaco. Could that change here, though? Boadu has a chance, but Joe Hart's quick off his line. And 5 minutes to go until the half, Wes. It's looking very comfortable defensively for Aazbabysk. No unforced errors.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, you talk about, there's not been a lot of chances, but in this type of game, you don't need a lot of chances, especially if you're only focusing on the game that's in front of you. You know, it's not like it's a series of games, at least not until we potentially get to the knockout stage where it's a series of games. But here it's all for points. So realistically, you should feel a little bit more kind of open. But I think at the moment, I think Celtic seem to appear to be in great control here.
Last chance of the half then. You can see, well, you can see at the top of the screen, just the 1 minute added on here in the first half. Is there drama here? Lovely turn from Ben Yedder. Can he perhaps get a shot away? He can. Blocked though. Second chance, and well, once again, the hero of the tie so far has been Joe Hart in goal for Celtic. The referee will blow his whistle, and the first half of game 2 will end Celtic 1, Monaco 0. What needs to change here, Wes, for AS Monaco? Because so far it just doesn't seem to be working out for GUIFERA.
I think it's the tempo in midfield. You know, the ball goes into the likes of, you know, Tukumeni and to kind of Aguilar, who's on the right-hand side, released at right back. You can see the ball goes into Tukumeni, and then it's just, it's taking a while to get through the phases. It needs to move quicker. You know, when it goes into Marcelan, when it comes out to Boadu, it needs to move quicker than what it is at the moment, because it just allows Celtic to kind of sink into shape, and it's allowing, as we can see there, but, you know, Bitten just able to take hold of the ball, and it just, you know, if you don't have the ball, you can't do damage. So you've got to be taking a little bit more care with the ball.
Flag up for offside. I must say, Aazbabysk has looked very comfortable so far. I think the worrying thing for Celtic fans, and no doubt his teammates as well, is the fact that it is only 1-0. Anything can change in eFootball. You have to say he's likely going to try and get that 2-goal cushion. The intention definitely is trying to get Maeda in behind. But GUIFERA, though, winning the ball back, can maybe launch an attack of his own, but bitten in quickly. It's gone a little scrappy here to start the second half of game 2. Which one of these players would you say that suits here, Wes? As maybe I'll come to you in a second, as Tukumeni can try and turn on the ball, tries to shield it, but nope, the referee won't be having any of that. It will be a free kick to Monaco.
I think it suits Celtic a little bit here, because if you're trying to chase a lead, you're more frenetic, you're more out of your comfort zone, you're trying to do things you're not used to, and as a result, you could force even more errors and concede more goals. I think it allows Aazbabysk to go, okay, well, I can still keep my shell here and still kind of deliver what we need to do here. I mean, he's still got the lead here.
How quickly it can change, though, especially in 1 versus 1. We speak constantly about the psychology of this league. Back when it was 3 versus 3, you're having a bad game, maybe your teammates can pick up some of that slack, but it's not the case this season. It's 3 individual 1 versus 1s. 3 points for a win, 1 for a draw, and nothing for a loss. So far, Monaco, after losing game 1, staring down the barrel of 0 points from 2 games, Wes, and I have no doubt maybe this change is cued by GUIFERA to try and change that. He would love to at least get some points on the board here for Monaco.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, you know, if you lose the first game, you can pick up, you know, potentially still 6 points out of 9. And this game is not beyond the realms of somebody of GUIFERA's talents either. Let's call it where we can see it. You know, he's still an incredibly good player. He just needs to get the ball moving, and he just needs to be, you know, on point with his passing. Because at the moment, Aazbabysk seems to be the player in more control, seems to be finding his passes, knows a little bit more about his team, realistically, looking at the way that he's performing.
Well, look at this. McGregor can maybe play it across the face of goal. And the longer this clock ticks down, the more and more GUIFERA is going to come out of his shell a bit more in search of that equaliser. Now, Aazbabysk maybe knows this, and maybe he's just waiting for that mistake. Here is Turnbull. Good tackle, though, it has to be said, by GUIFERA, and he beats his second man as well. Now, what a turn of pace it is from Boadu. Fofana. Starting to ramp up now here for GUIFERA. And as I say that, there's unforced errors on both sides. Could we see this potentially get more scrappy as we enter the final 20 in-game minutes? Potentially a shot for Monaco prevented by the Celtic defence here. Still in the final third, though. Monaco chasing the equaliser. GUIFERA playing it in, has a really good chance here to stand it up at the back post. Will there be a second opportunity? Carter Vickers says no. Aazbabysk says no, but once again, the ball will come the other way. Long ball. Looking for Boadu, but defended well once more. by Aazbabysk.
Julian's been a rock-solid defender over the course of these 2 games. Very much, I would say, he's Celtic's informal MVP so far. Has been an absolute rock and has dealt with a lot of pressure back there. But you can see there the almost defensive brick wall that Aazbabysk is building here now. You can see that he's making it even harder for GUIFERA to get in behind and cause damage. You can see how tightly packed that front 3 is. You know, and we talk about, you know, the counter-attacking nature of it. He's now brought on Jota, who again has got ounces and bags of pace. So, you know, it's only going to take one tired misstep from a Monaco defender, and Aazbabysk could be in for 2-0. But the same could be said for Monaco. If they make changes at the right time here, GUIFERA could very much find himself getting a point, if not all 3.
Well, 15 in-game minutes stand between Celtic and another 3 points here in the eFootball Championship Pro 2022 group stages. Bafana plays a nice through ball, but not to an onside teammate. And Celtic, I mean, potentially the surprise of the competition so far. Obviously, we've only played 2 games, but I don't think a lot of players coming into this and a lot of viewers at home would have been expecting this type of result based on Monaco's eFootball pedigree. But as we approach the final 10 in-game minutes as well, the first 2 games have showcased the different types of matches we'll get here in this competition. The first, very free-scoring, free-flowing. The second here, very much a closer affair.
Yeah, you can see time just ticking away here. And again, that will be almost music to Aazbabysk, his ears, in terms of, you know, 10 minutes left here. Hasn't got a lot left to do. At the very worst, he could draw this. I mean, he could, you know, it depends on how this next passage of play goes here.
Just as it was for Kilzu in the previous game. Anywhere will do at this point. For Aazbabysk. Monaco, 5 in-game minutes plus stoppages to chase that equaliser. Once more, defended well by Celtic. Here's Turnbull on that far side. The destination, no doubt, will be to the corner flag to try and get rid of some of this time off the clock. Well, he's beating his man on that far side here as well. Will he go for 2, I wonder? Sensible game management here by Turnbull on that far side, but he's given the ball straight away. And the assistant says 2 minutes to be added on. Monaco win the ball back, but once more, the defensive work from Aazbabysk comes up trumps, and it is a second win for Celtic in the eFootball Championship Pro 2022 group stages. 6 points out of a possible 6 so far. And you can see what it means for the man returning to the league. Look at the stats, whereas it was KG, not many shots, but the stat line that it impresses and certainly means the most is the one at the top, 1-0.
Yeah, he does it. It just shows, again, 3 shots, 1 on target. You only need 1 shot, and then you just need to manage the game. You can see how much it means to him. Very much excited